Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Chaska Human Rights Commission meeting of Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. Kevin is filling in for Elise Durbin tonight. So Kevin, will you do the roll call, please?
It's the most nerve-wracking part of my night all the time. Every time I fill in, this is what I always think about all day long. Commissioner Alidar, Commissioner Hanan,
Here.
Commissioner Welver,
Here.
Commissioner Sanderson, Commissioner Lesueur,
Here.
Commissioner Me,
Here.
Commissioner Hamza,
Here.
Commissioner Hubbard, Commissioner Gotti, and Chair Carlson.
Here. Thanks, Kevin. You did it.
Did
You did it. Thank you. We have an agenda this evening that was sent to all of us. Are there any changes? If so, will you please make a motion? If not, please make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Thank you, Ren. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Jen. So we have a motion to approve the agenda made by Ren, seconded by Jennifer. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes carry. We have a guest presentation tonight, and I'm so pleased that Jill Engeswick has joined us tonight. Jill is the co-founder of Beyond New Beginnings.
These by your place.
And you put a wonderful flyer beside each of us. If you don't know about Jill, Jill was an educator with the Southwest Metro ISD 288 for 30 years, working with high-risk students. In 2019, she joined partners with a fellow by the name of Russ St. John, who I hope that all of you will meet at some point in time, and started the New Beginnings High School program at the corner of Walnut and 2nd Street.
Just a correction, Russ and I started Beyond New Beginnings, supported health, not New Beginnings.
I'm sorry.
Super confusing.
Did not say that fancy word of beyond. So last year, Jill was one of the nominees for the Human Rights Award that we normally appoint at the Dr. King celebration. And at that time, folks said, both in our viewing audience and here on the commission, well, what is Beyond New Beginnings? And I said, we will have Jill or their executive director or even Russ St. John come and talk with us about it. So welcome, Jill. We can't wait to hear about the program.
So glad to be here. That was my intro. Sarah kind of took the wind out of my sails, but what I was going to say is how we started. Russ St. John and I kind of teamed up, and we had felt like there was a need for housing for young single moms and their children. And we're from Chaska, and the New Beginnings High School program, where I taught for 30 years, is also in Chaska. And we knew there would be graduates, women from that program who needed more support after high school. And we always thought, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if we had a housing program for them where they could get another year or two of someone kind of holding them up. Sometimes the family support isn't there, or whatever's going on in their lives isn't healthy. So we always kind of dreamed about that. And Sue, who's the lead teacher at the New Beginnings High School program, was speaking to Rotary one morning, and just said, oh, thanks for your donation to the New Beginnings High School program. Someday we've got to get money to raise for housing for these moms too. And Russ was the one who heard it and took it to heart and said, why can't we do that? So he paired up with me. And then we were talking to people in Chaska, and you support this, would this be something you would like? And everybody was like, oh, great idea, great idea. And we didn't know if we'd be building something or buying something or what. But then the CDA, the Community Development Agency, said, we just bought a property on the corner of 2nd and Walnut. We were going to use it for something else, but if you want to use it for your program, you could have 4 2-bedroom apartments, a common space with a kitchen and a bathroom and a living room and a play area. And then your moms would use their leases through us, pay 30% of their income for rent, and you can use the common space as you need to, just pay the utilities. So it's like, well, let's think about that. Okay, sign us up. We'll take it, put us down. So we just took a chance, and it's been a really good partnership. We've been happy to be there, and the moms have been, we have those 4 2-bedroom apartments. So People move in every year or so, they have a 1-year lease, and then if they need more than 1 year to kind of get their feet under them, then they can stay a little bit longer, but the idea is 1 to 2 years for each family to get skills and move on. We, like you at the Human Rights Commission, we really focus on each person's dignity, treat them with respect. This is a place you can live, but you tell us what you'd like, what you need, what your colors are. We'll help you. It'll be furnished. You'll have towels, plates and bowls and shower curtains and furniture while you live here. So it's kind of like you come move in and you could start from there and start building your life up. And we expect our moms to be working at a job somewhere or going to school, either finishing high school if they're under 21 or going on to post-secondary or some kind of training. So that's how we kind of set the criteria for these parents. They have to be 18 to live there because they have to sign a lease. So you have to be 18 to sign a lease. So those are some of the criteria we have for them. A lot of our referrals come from the New Beginnings High School program. That's the name, beyond New Beginnings. We're kind of the next step past the high school program. So we were really lucky to get that house and get started that way. And since then we're on our 4th rotation of families coming in. So that's been nice to see. The kids are growing, and I put these pictures up here just so you get a fun sense of things we do. Not only are we providing safe, stable housing, but we're also providing some extra activities to help the families feel more integrated into the community, like the fishing programs and go to the Twins game, go to plays, go to City of Chaska activities. So they really feel like they're part of our community, and that's really fun to see that they're engaged in that manner and they feel good about that. We're also focusing more on what we can do for those children. So right now, depends on the age of the kids who are there, but the age of the kids who are there now are about 4 of them are school aged. So we're doing more developmental, remedial, math, reading, that kind of stuff in the summer, and then during the school year, we're working on social emotional skills with our volunteer childcare helpers, and we have some extra people from the community come in. That Jill from Shakopee Curriculum has come over and done some really good training with the moms to work with their kids with basic education skills. So we've got some nice options for them. Last summer we did some swimming lessons, and we're going to try to do that again this year because it was a big hit. We want everyone to know how to swim. I'm going to just now kind of switch over. You can kind of glance at those pictures if you want to get a sense of what the apartments look like. Oh, you see that over there, the apartments, furniture share. People just are so forthcoming from the community of Chaska to help us get furniture, move stuff in. What can we do to help? Everybody wants to be a helper, and the main ways people volunteer are either by bringing a meal for our Monday night programming or by helping with childcare. On that Monday night, it's just 1 hour, but it's nice to have somebody for each kid to play with and stay busy. So those are the volunteer opportunities, and like I said, faith communities, individuals, businesses, lots and lots of engagement from the Chaska community and the environs. Now we'll look at the PowerPoint. We have just a short PowerPoint to just kind of give you the highlights. The problem we're working to solve is that young moms and their children were get caught in the cycle of poverty. It's hard to get out without a hand up, right? You need somebody to walk alongside you. And so we don't want them to fall into homelessness. That's where we're trying to get in there before that happens. Next slide. Our mission is to provide loving foundations for young families to overcome housing instability and poverty. So by providing a safe, stable place for moms, for example, one of our first moms, because she moved into our program, was able to get custody of her child, which she didn't have it beforehand, and was able to keep a job and stay kind of out of courts. And she was able to move on to her next place after us and still has custody of her child. And that was sort of like, that's a big step for her. Anything we can do to help moms move forward. Another one of our moms is here as legally from Mexico, but she wanted to get her citizenship papers. So she was really a US citizen, and she worked on that process and got her citizenship this last year. And she she was so proud of herself, and her daughters saw her go through that process, and she invited us to be part of that. And so a lot of good things are happening with the moms, in addition to first generation college students and families. You know, if nobody in your family ever went to college, sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do and how to do it. And so we can help them figure out those steps to get going on that. One of the moms, the mom on your picture on here, Brianna, She was working in HVAC for 5 years, making money as an HVAC assembly person. And she really wanted to go back to school and figure out how to do what the people above her did that made more money. So Normandale has the program for computer aided design, CAD program. And she's like, and the things they had on display at the classrooms were the exact things she was making in her job. She's like, those are the things I make every day. And she had a good connection with the teachers there. And now she's in process of getting her CAD certificate or degree so she can make a little more money and hopefully be more independent. So those are a couple of quick stories. Okay, next one. 4 stages for overcoming poverty and housing instability. We do this, provide stable housing that they can afford. You know, it's a third of their income. That's a lot of programs are participating in that part. We also offer mentoring. So each family has a personal mentor, someone who walks alongside them as a coach, cheerleader kind of a thing. We also have a family coach, a staff person who can help overcome barriers or help set goals or help whatever they need to figure out, work through crises or whatever. The bottom one says cross-generational focus, and that's to look both at the needs of the mom and the children. So that's kind of how we're expanding our program right now, to look at the kids' needs as well. They benefit just from having stable housing and a mom who's feeling safe, but it's good to meet their needs in other ways as well. And the last one is support employment stability and financial independence. So we work a lot about how do you maintain your money and your independence and keep a budget and all the things. When you moved out on your own, you had to figure that out, and they need to figure it out too. So we're trying to provide some guidance along those lines. And when things go awry and things aren't working out, or they get in trouble with rent or something, then we can help them figure that out before it gets to be like, oh, you're going to be evicted or something. We don't want that to happen. So it's a good program, and it's good to start that. Next slide. So Monday nights, we have our family style dinners, and that's kind of nice role modeling, like everybody sits down to eat together. Some families never do that, but it's nice check-in for your day. And then after dinner, the kids go and play with the childcare people, and the moms gather for a class. So the classes might be parent ed classes, financial literacy, nutrition, mental health care, and then a variety of other safety and other things that they're interested in knowing more about. So personal health, and I don't think what else. Oh, so just like empowerment, the skills they need to be more assertive with their own needs. Okay, next one. Our impact is 75% of our families are self-sufficient when they complete the program. And program graduates are self-sufficient after 2 years, 90% of them are. So self-sufficient we define as knowing where resources are, how to get to the next step, who to talk to if you need something, how to be safe and support yourself and your child. Okay, next slide. And that's a nice example of a group in the community all made quilts and brought quilts for each family, and each family member got to say, oh, I want Batman, or I want flowers, or I want butterflies. And they made these quilts exactly the way they ordered them. And so it was just wonderful because they made about 15 quilts and delivered them to our moms. One of our slogans is lifting up families through strong community support. And like I said, Chaska's just come beyond, above and beyond what we ever expected a community would do to help us. And we try to celebrate individual successes. We try to provide incentives for participation. So coming on Monday nights is important. So we try to incentivize some of that stuff. Trying to work hard to help them, prepare them for the next move in their life, which is also hard when they leave us and they have to figure it all out somewhere else. So those are the things we're trying to really provide for them. And we have a variety of kinds of people in the program. Right now we have a number of Latinas, but we've had, you can tell by the pictures, the kinds of people. We've had lots of variety and diversity in our programs, and that's awesome. And the last thing I'll just show you is a 2-minute video about the moms themselves telling what they've gained from being in our program and how it benefits them. So let's hear from the moms.
Hi, my name is Tatiana, and I came to Beyond New Beginnings to have my own place with my 3 children. This place has helped us out a lot emotionally, legally, and I'm thankful for the great support that's in this program. My goals are to become an RN. I'm currently a CNA, and I'm hoping to be a great role model for my children, that everything's possible, and this place couldn't be better.
Hi, I'm Morgan, and I have an 8-year-old son, and the reason I decided to apply for the Beyond New Beginnings apartments was that I craved structure for not only myself but my son, and they have helped me alongside that with classes on Monday nights. I've also gained a mentor through the program, and she's helped walk alongside me and pushed me to do better for myself and my kid, and I had the opportunity to apply to become a special education para, and I am now a special education para. And it's just been a great community, gaining all the resources that I didn't have before this, and now I feel confident in walking along this journey by myself even now.
Hi, I'm Brianna, and I have a 5-year-old named Dempsey. I came to Beyond New Beginnings because I was working as an HVAC assembler for a company for 5 years. I knew it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, so I wanted to attend college. Beyond New Beginnings has provided that opportunity for me. What we like the most is the Monday nights dinners and classes and learning life skills together, and all the events that we get to do to create memories together. My goals while living at Beyond New Beginnings is to finish my degree in engineering, so that way I can provide for my son independently and show him that he is able to go to college and face anything that comes his way and reach his goals.
Beyond New Beginnings supports and nurtures young moms and their children as they gain self-sufficiency in safe, stable housing while being actively involved in the New Beginnings high school program, post-secondary education, and/or employment in order to become healthy, contributing members of our community. That's it. That's my presentation. Any questions?
So, wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing work. So I noticed the opportunities to donate. Are there other ways that the community could be involved? Like, do you need people to teach or
Yeah.
childcare or what other things?
Childcare? Often. People can bring a meal on Monday nights, like bring a meal for 12 people, and just bring it to our site, and then we have it for the moms. A lot of people like doing that one. Childcare, like I said, the kids age and range in age right now from like a baby to a 10-year-old. So it just depends who's there that day. We can always use people who want to come and teach a skill. Like, I'm really good at changing tires or balancing checkbooks, or I could tell you my favorite recipe and show you how to cook it. Anything like that is helpful. We have a sort of a continuum of types of teachers that we use, and they do a great job, but we're always open for somebody else to pop in and give us their point of view on something or teach us their skill. Did you have something specific in mind that you were wondering about?
No, just in general, like, and just, even, would people just reach out to you, or how would, how would we?
Yeah, we have a website, and it's on your flyer there, www.beyondnewbeginnings.org. And there's a spot where you can click and say, I'm interested in more information, or I'd like to volunteer. There's a sign up genius if you want to sign up for bringing a meal or coming like that.
And so I work with a church youth group. Is there an age limit that you're kind of interested in?
Church youth groups are perfect for childcare.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yes.
They probably couldn't teach much. You wouldn't want to.
Right. But yeah, we've had some nice experiences with a couple different churches who've had their youth come and play with the kids, our kids. Love it when it's teenagers instead of the grandmas and grandpas. We love the grandmas and grandpas too, but the teenagers are way more fun. So that's a nice thing. Even if they can commit, like we'll come for an hour or we'll come for a couple of hours on a Saturday. We just recently had like a mom's night out. So moms really loved that. So they could have the kids under safe care with this group, and I'm there too. And they have a little break. It's just, wonderful.
Yeah, cool.
That'd be great. Thanks for asking.
So I had two questions. One was, I know you said a lot of your referrals come from the New Beginnings High School. Do you guys ever work at all with the coordinated reentry?
We have a little bit. I know that's kind of one of the places we're trying to explore. Since we only have 4 apartments, we don't have a lot of turnover. But as we're looking at growing the program, that's a great idea.
And then do you guys have volunteers or a dedicated staff member to help these moms find the different resources, whether it be city, county, state, or federal resources, scholarships, etc.?
Yeah, we do have, that's what our family coach basically does,
Okay.
is help them figure that out, but we might be missing a few. So if you have some ideas of things, be sure to check out.
I work for a low-income housing organization, which is why I was curious.
Yeah, what's yours called?
Common Bond Communities?
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah. Yeah, that's good. And there's probably resources there we could benefit from learning from. Yeah, good. Thank you for the question, the comment. Others? Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate your listening and
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
being here,
thank you.
Jill.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're able to feature you as part of our guest this year.
yeah,
And to broaden the news within Chaska about your program.
right. And if you've got one of these brochures and you don't want it, you can give it to Sarah and she can give it to me later. Otherwise, enjoy it. It's a beautiful, colorful brochure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we know. Minutes. We have the minutes of March 28th, 2024 to review and approve. Have you had a chance to look at them? Were there any corrections, changes, deletions, additions? If not, then may I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 28th?
To approve the minutes.
Excellent. Is there a second?
A second.
Well, thanks, Britt. Okay, so we have a motion made by Ren, seconded by Britt to approve the meeting minutes of March 28th, 2024. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Kevin, big responsibility coming up here. Could you tell us about how much money we have?
Oh, always can talk about money. So yeah, so the current balance on if you look on the back sheet there, that's got your kind of balance sheet. And so you're at $3,917.54. So the two that have kind of been added to the ledger since our last meeting was name badges in April, which was $13. And then also the Pride celebration budget of $2,000. So also just of note, the Pride celebration budget is the budgeted amount, so there hasn't been any actual expenses yet on that.
Great. Any questions for Kevin? If not, may I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Thank you, Hannah. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jen. We have a motion made by Hannah, seconded by Jen to approve the May 23rd, 2024 budget or the treasurer's report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Thanks so much. Okay. First up on our business agenda is the MLK Human Rights Celebration. And I have nothing to report.
We have to meet.
We have to meet.
Yes.
So make the note. We have to meet.
Yeah.
Have to meet. I'm
That's an
writing-
easy note.
Have to meet. Okay. Women's appreciation. Kevin, do you want to kind of provide a wrap up of how we did in February with our feature on the social network?
In March, I mean?
In March, excuse me, I said February.
Yep, I think if I remember correctly, the committee kind of met a few times, and then we did get our form that we sent out last year, sent out again this year. We did not have as good of luck on getting recipients, so I believe we ended up highlighting, I believe, one or two people this year. So I think there's going to be some ideas kind of brought to the table for next year on maybe how to kind of continue to solicit either more participation in that or another option to look to celebrate women in our community.
Great. Thanks. Um, Asian and Pacific Islander recognition and a statement that's been printed and is separate for you tonight. Last Friday, I sent a message to Jen as our vice chair saying, oh my gosh, it's May and we didn't do anything for Asian and Pacific Islander Recognition Month. And we said we were going to do that in our plan for 2024. So Jen and I wordsmithed a statement, and that's the bottom paragraph. And I know you can all read it, but I'll just say for the record, the Chaska Human Rights Commission acknowledges Asian, American, and Pacific Islanders during the month of May. The month of May was chosen to commemorate the immigration of the first Japanese people to the United States in 1843 and the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 that was built with significant contributions from workers from China. Today, we take time to raise awareness and celebrate the cultures and achievements of people from the entire Asian continent, including East, Southeast, and South Asian and Pacific islands, of Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. Our community strength lies in the recognition and inclusion of every person, regardless of background or identity, as a valued participant in the place that we call home, Chaska. We asked Kevin and Elise to take a look at it. The thinking was that we would post this on our social media page. Again, I'll just go back to our plan for 2024, where we talked about being able to recognize, perhaps not have a large event, but to recognize certain cultures and identities that call Chaska their home. And so in good faith, we present it to you. I'm certain we can tweak it if you would prefer to have different language.
So I think it's great. Our little committee has had a hard time getting together. I think we're trying to get together on Tuesday as well. So I think this is fantastic, and maybe this is a yes and maybe there's something else that we could do as well. So.
Great. Who's on your committee, Ren?
Can't remember. Are you?
I believe that I am.
Yeah. And Commissioner Hubbard as well. So.
Got it.
And so we tried at the beginning of the month and it didn't happen. And then all of a sudden December happened and we are trying to get together before the end of the month to do something. So.
Like I said, on Friday, I looked at the calendar and I said, oh my gosh, it's the end of the month. We didn't do this. So.
No, thank you for doing it. It's great. We are slackers, but we will unslacker ourselves.
I'm not calling you a slacker, honest.
No, we are trying to get together on Tuesday to see if maybe we can do this. And if there's something else, or if anything, put something in place to do next year that maybe we could be a little more proactive. So.
Good idea. So assuming that they all is well, they'll meet. Will you be able to post this?
Yes, yeah, we will be able to, and I believe Krista is the staff liaison for that particular subcommittee, so she'd be the perfect one. So when you meet on Tuesday, I think you said?
That she threw out some times. It seems like at least that's for now what looks like it'll work. So.
Yeah. So once you have a chance to meet, and we can definitely post it.
So would you like to just bring this to your meeting and kind of decide if you want to use this and something else, or, tweak this a little bit?
Sure.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Okay.
And you're much more eloquent than what we would have been. So this is great.
Well, I had Jen's help. So thank you, Jen, for your willingness to.
Well, thank you for thinking of it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I'm new here. When we post things like this, where do they get posted?
They get posted on the city's Facebook page. So anything we do for the Human Rights Commission, because it's a part of the city, gets posted on that Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram, and also the website as well.
And it used to go also into like a letter to the editor, we would send one on
Mm.
behalf of the commission,
Mhm.
but we can't do that now. So when you see City of Chaska posts, share it with your networks so that
Okay.
more people see it.
Yeah.
And hit like.
Because you're doing my job for me over there. so.
Well, big thing coming up for us is the Pride celebration. And I know that at least 3 of you have been very busy working on the Pride celebration. Hannah and I are fully prepared to dish ice cream, right?
Right.
Right.
Excellent.
So
Yes, I did prepare. Yeah.
we are fully prepared, I think. So who's going to report?
We didn't.
I will start because I had a couple of
Yeah.
updates since the last
Okay,
the
great.
3 of us met last. In addition to ice cream, there might be donuts.
Whoa.
Earlier this week, I stopped by Dunkin' Donuts to see if they'd be willing to do a cash donation for the t-shirts. The manager I spoke with said that he couldn't authorize a cash donation, but might be able to do Pride donuts, which is like donuts loaded down with sprinkles. So the 3 of us met after on Tuesday. I stopped by Dunkin' Donuts on my way home from work today. That manager wasn't in, but he will be in tomorrow morning, and I'll have time in the morning to go in and talk with him. So, in addition to the ice cream, there might be Pride donuts.
Excellent.
More to come. So I'll know more tomorrow. And Old National Bank said that they'd be willing to do $100 sponsorship. They've already sent in their logo for the t-shirts, and they said they're going to mail in the check to City Hall. So, I got that email. What day is today? Thursday? Yesterday. It's been a long couple weeks. And then Carver County Pride is going to be having a booth at our Pride celebration. They'll have flyers, stickers, some Pride swag, and business cards. Since they're a newer nonprofit, we got started a little bit too late to incorporate what they wanted to do this year. Because they had some big ideas, and we just didn't have the time to execute it. But they're gonna have some flyers and informational stuff at our Pride celebration as well.
Right.
So
That's all for that I had.
To build on the donations discussion, we have successfully raised what we think is enough money to be able to design and hand out white t-shirts for the tie-dye event.
Wow,
So we're very excited about that.
that's great.
Kevin, we'll be sending you those details.
Okay.
soon.
Sounds good.
And yeah, the t-shirts will list who our donors are, and then also people who we've partnered with and are helping us to put on the event as a whole. So we're very excited to be able to offer those this year. And there's a discussion also about other potential or kind of general Pride t-shirts that's in the works. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not
That's-
sure yet about that.
Yeah.
Because in the past, we've done a sale of a Pride t-shirt. But that was in conjunction with the high school GSA. And we haven't really connected on that yet this year with them. So the thought was maybe even the commission could sell t-shirts, but we haven't figured out the logistics of handling the money for it. As we understand it, we can't do like a credit card sale to the city.
We
We
could,
could look into that. I mean, there's a little bit more work to set that up. I mean, some of our sites have that capability, but I think it's how we would have to track it coming in through finance. So we could inquire into that.
Well, we will be meeting again probably next week to
Probably,
discuss
yeah.
that more in depth because it's crunch time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we need to make decisions about that, and we'll let you know when we find out.
Yeah, we just had interest from community members who really enjoyed the shirts in the past, and so that was,
Yeah, we've received inquiries from them.
yeah. And then, let's see, so we've got the DJ lined up that is secure, so we'll have an official DJ this year. And then the library is partnering with us to do a number of activities, like a story time and button making. So we'll need some volunteers for that. And then they'll have resources. I think pretty similar to last year. I mean, I wasn't there, but from what I've been told. Are there any high level? We will have face painting. That did get confirmed. Great. So
Yes,
we're very
and
excited.
it's the same student from last year, and she has one or two other people that will be joining her to help lighten the load a little bit. So she's very excited to come back and do it.
That's great.
We're very excited to have her. Yeah. And then to supplement that, I think we're also going to purchase temporary tattoos. So if face paint runs out, or the line is too long, or the kids are too young to sit still for that long, there'll be some sort of body art they can partake in.
Yeah.
And then, yep, like Kevin mentioned, we'll have ice cream. And then, let's see,
We have a food truck secured.
do we?
I thought she said so.
Okay.
Do you know
I
it?
remember Elise, I thought I remember Elise saying that the food truck was secured.
And it was
Yeah,
a
at least
coffee cart or something,
Yeah,
so
I
it
think
was
that's
like
right.
different snacks and stuff, which would be great because we weren't looking for big meals, you know, so I think she did say it was secured.
It was the
last
coffee cart because coming from a coffie addict, I was thrilled.
You and me both then.
Let's see. I think there's a couple other small things, but I
Will
don't know
we
if
have
we
a
need to
community
dive
art
into.
project?
Yes, there is a
Oh.
community art. Do you want to talk? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, we're gonna do the thumbprint portraits. So everyone get your thumb ready and so, you know, it'll be a fairly simple project this year. I think that'll be nice, that people don't have to, you know, concentrate too hard. But they can be very creative because they get to draw their own self-portraits on their thumbprints, and that'll be fun. And then Cassie Bernhardt, the art teacher at the high school, has agreed to help us with setting up the display so we can display it at River City Days this
Great.
summer. And then we're also gonna do jewelry making.
Oh,
We
yes.
have like
So-
friendship bracelets, necklaces, you know, we have. Yeah, that's what we thought. We would just use what we have, and you know, people had fun with that, and friendship bracelets are like kind of big, right? So, yeah.
Oh, and a yoga class.
Oh, yes, the Zendan Yoga.
Yep.
They are really excited to partner with us. They're one of our sponsors. They're gonna have a table about kind of just wellness and about their business and stuff. But then at 5 o'clock, they said they're willing to lead a yoga class, like over in the yard a little bit, you know, and get people that want to be involved with that, so. And then we'll also have like the yard games. We will have a sensory friendly area. Again, that seemed to really be a great addition when we added that to it. And I think that's it for this list.
I think so, yeah. There might be a couple of other booths there from other UB members
Yes.
in the community, but that's still in the works. So we'll find that out. We did prepare a sign-up list for volunteers. So I'll happily pass that along if anyone wants to sign. We don't have to do it right now. We can do it maybe afterwards or.
Sure.
But yeah, we went through and thought through, you know, how many people do we think we'd need for each event? And we broke it out into 1 hour shifts. So if people want to stay in one spot for more than an hour, they can. But otherwise, you know, variety is the spice of life. So.
We have been the lead ice cream team, but
Poll.
hey, I mean, it's okay.
You are first.
Is there like a tryout or how do
You've done a wonderful job.
Thanks, thanks. Anna and I have done a good job. You're right.
Oh, so we did have, so Elise did go down into the basement to look and
I was gonna say,
to.
she said she was going to the
Yep.
basement for you all.
Yep, she ventured forth and found some materials. And so one of our next steps, I think, will be looking into what we need to purchase. So there, well, I guess the next meeting's after the Pride event, so there'll be a big budget update then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
just to recap,
Mhm.
the Pride event is celebrating a community within our Chaska community that we feel is important to be recognized. And so that event is going to be on what date?
Saturday, June 22nd, 3 to 6 p.m. at Veterans Park, across the lake from Fireman's Park.
Great.
I have a question for you, Kevin.
Sure.
In the past, we have had like some city council members and stuff who have volunteered. Would it be best for one of us to invite them, or should that go through the city to just kind of let them know that it's happening?
Yeah, we can definitely, if you have the sign up sheet that's electronic, or if you want us to even hand them out at the next council meeting too, we can send them an email before then, but
Okay,
to let them know if they want to volunteer or just attend.
yeah, 'cause I
Um,
know
we can
they've
set
had
it up.
some great support for us in the other years, so.
Yeah, I know. I see. I've got some good photos of some
Yeah.
some tie-dyed hands, stained hands. So, but yeah, we can send that out for you. Either tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, I guess. But yeah.
Great.
Mhm.
Is Google Sheets okay?
Yeah, that works fine.
Supported platform? Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, excellent.
And then also, I'm not sure if this has been mentioned before, but we are also in the Pride calendar in the Small Town Pride issue from Lavender Magazine. So
Great.
Randy Stern, if you've met him from attending our previous Pride picnic / celebration, he reached out. So we're in both the print edition, which I think was published on May 16th, and then also the digital one as well. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And one other thing I was gonna say is that in communicating with the Carver County Pride, we are still trying to figure out how it's gonna look in the future for how we'll partner and everything. But this August is their first big event, and they're having a countywide Pride Festival. And so we as a subcommittee offered up the Human Rights Commission to support them if they need volunteers, or, you know, if there's any way we can support them, because we just love to see this, you know, be celebrated throughout the summer, not just at these two events too.
Thank you for bringing that up, since I was the one that sent the email volunteering all of us. And I forgot to say that. So this is us.
Kevin?
I volunteered all of us, so this is us telling us that you're voluntold.
Do you know what that date is off the top of your head?
I would have to go back and look at my emails
Okay.
because I don't remember on top of my head.
But please remind us.
I
So
will,
that,
I will, since I have to go back and look at some email stuff tomorrow anyway, I will send the email on to Elise
excellent. Or to Kevin.
or to Kevin.
Yeah.
K1.
Either one. Yeah, right.
That's wonderful.
Already
Question.
Yes.
Do y'all have like a
Did that right now, yeah.
resource table or anything that folks that have resources but aren't able to like have a booth could just like send it if it's helpful? Or not
Do
really?
you have something in mind?
Yeah, I mean, our organization's gonna be at Twin Cities Pride, and we have a bunch of stuff that we pulled together for mostly for like refugee, non-citizen, LGBTQ community. And we do not have the bandwidth to go to another Pride, but have like the whole packet of what we pulled from different communities. And we could just share what they
Or
are.
we could have a table that's,
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, there are gonna be other tables with resources, so
Okay.
we could very easily set up an
Okay.
additional table.
Cool. It's just like
Yeah.
educational
let's
Mhm.
like
and research.
chat more about
Okay.
like what we need to put out. and
Sure,
stuff.
sure. Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to this committee. You guys
We're
are just,
super excited.
you are, you're doing great.
Sounds
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Also, the Carver County Pride celebration is Saturday, August 31st.
You know
So
what?
I just got word that the Carver County Pride celebration is Saturday, August 31st.
See, Kevin's look out for each other. Yeah.
Do you know where it is, Kevin?
Carver County Fairgrounds.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So when is the county fair?
June usually, like earlier.
August.
Not August
It's
31st.
On August
It's
31st, it
before the
doesn't
state
matter.
Fair. It's like June.
Yeah, I think it's actually earlier in
Yeah.
like early August, I want to say.
August 7th to 11th.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
That works.
So it's all about me, but please don't steal my jokes.
Well, thank you so much. We're excited to be there and be helpful and supportive of our community here in Chaska. So right after our Pride celebration comes River City Days. I know.
I think I'm the only member here of that subcommittee.
Okay.
We set up our first meeting and Kevin joined me and the two of us met. So we haven't really made a lot of progress, but Kevin very generously explained to me what we've done in the past. And I think the thought is we'll probably continue similarly this year. The booth, we'll put up the Pride Community Art Project. Have some additional information about the Human Rights Commission, maybe have a fun wheel to spin for prizes and handouts, but.
We already have the swag, right?
We have the swag.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we do.
There we go.
Great.
We have the swag.
I'll write that down.
I don't know what we have. Do you
I
recall
don't
what we
remember What we
ordered?
bought.
We bought
for
something.
kids. I remember.
Oh, those,
The basement.
the basement.
Basement, you bought the basement. Are you raffling off the basement?
What do you think we could get for it?
I mean, it depends on how much people love planning files.
Yeah, that's true.
I love
In
it.
the budget. Now,
Did you discuss perhaps having a Jeopardy game again this year?
It was kind of just a rundown of what we've done in the
Oh.
past.
Yeah,
So
I was new and
Okay.
so I didn't want to start making unilateral decisions.
I've heard people ask about that. They had.
Oh,
a
really?
good
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that was-
that's good to know.
Yeah, and they just went out into the crowd and found people at River City Days, I think, to be the,
Yes, I went
The
out and tapped
contestant.
people on the
Okay.
shoulder and said, please come and play Jeopardy with us. And they did. So that was really surprising. So, well, if we can be helpful to that committee, please let us know, Britt and Kevin.
Sounds like we might have some basement.
yeah,
switching
that's
On your
that's the
schedule.
play to be.
Yeah.
I do know that we've verbally committed to the tents this week. So with the River City Days committee, so we'll be kind of solidifying our tents, with them in the next week or so. So,
Okay.
Will we have electricity?
yes.
Okay, great. The fan is always very important.
is the best part.
I think I honestly think it got stolen last year. I think
Fan?
so. It was Martin's, but, yeah, I think,
Is it a box fan?
but yeah, he was okay with it. I offered to buy him a new one, but, he declined the offer, so
I definitely have two box fans that I.
we had, we lent it to a tent behind us or another
yes.
tent.
I
that
do remember that.
was staying open longer than us and, they may now have a new fan, so.
A new old fan maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, right, yeah. I mean, fan was a very important piece of equipment at
Hmm.
last River City Days.
On their budget, they're showing a surplus of one.
Exactly, right, yeah.
That was so
We're
weird.
about helping the community.
Did you offer water bottles or anything last year?
I think there was
Expected to-
popsicles.
Popsicles.
Like
Popsicle.
But
Popsicles.
the state of the popsicles after about an hour,
Not great.
even though we had an
Weird.
automatic generator
Yeah.
courtesy of Martin,
Yeah.
I think he bought it specifically for us. At least I like to think he did. But after about an hour, the freeze pops were not exactly freeze. They were more just tubes of blue or red or orange liquid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the candy was a big hit.
So maybe water.
Because water doesn't need to be refrigerated. It is nice when it is, but not represented.
The only thing that we would have to check is there a problem with us giving away water? So there would be a conflict because there would be vendors there
Let's sell water.
selling water.
Okay.
And so we would not be allowed, allowed might not be strong, too strong of a word, but we would not be authorized to distribute water at no cost
Okay.
if they were the chosen vendor for water.
Okay.
We can check on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a person who used to sell pop and water at River City Days, I know all about that.
Very specific set of knowledge.
A lot of the vendors are they're nonprofits, and so their proceeds go towards certain programs and
Okay.
stuff, and we don't want to take away from,
Yeah.
you know, their, I don't know, scholarships or, you know, whatever they're doing to help the community. So
Yeah.
I think if we check on it, then we can figure out something that we can give away.
Got it. All right.
Cultural Heritage Month. Yusuf, do you want to kind of give a report on what we talked about?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So we've come to a conclusion on the date for it, which will not be during Cultural Heritage Month, but the week after. So because Cultural Heritage Month is September, right? And all that. So we have a date of October 4th set because October 4th at the event center. And so, yeah, so the plan right now is first off, to set up like little maps around Chaska, like high traffic areas. So like the community center, the library, the turf field right in between middle school east and west, and a bunch of other places so that we can determine which cultures we want to showcase, because we have this year as being a goal of to showcase multiple cultures. And what else is there?
We would like vote on the map, is that what you're saying?
So no, so on the maps, what people are gonna be able to do. My original idea was to have pins, but I've come to the realization that pins is probably not the best idea to make publicly available. So probably what's gonna be is gonna laminate some world maps basically, and there will be a marker basically that people can self-report where they're from on the map, and there also will be a QR code, right? Yeah, so it's gonna be a QR code that Kevin here has lovely volunteered to make a form for, basically, so that people can either self-report on the map where they're from, or they can just simply scan the QR code and put in and fill out the form, basically. And so then we can take that data and we can determine which cultures we want to showcase.
That's cool. That's very cool. Do you have a number in mind of how many you're kind of thinking about, or?
I think Sarah, I think we talked about like we know we want both Africa, Europe, Asia, South Asia, Australia,
America.
South America, Central America, Native American, all sorts really. I think as long as we get like a good representation,
Sure.
I think that's good, but we have not really come up on a number. Do we want to decide on a number? Or do we just want to see how many we can get? See how many we can get. That's fine.
And then because there'll be so many, we'll have to very judiciously look at what we can do and what community members want to participate with us. So there'll be some shifting, I'm sure, but
Yes.
to be determined.
Yes. A lot of it is to be determined.
And Juhi is part of our committee. And Juhi had an exciting event at her high school in the fall.
Yes, I believe she did say it was in the fall.
where it was a cultural around the world event. And so she's really inspired us. We focused on our countries in Africa last year. And so we think that this will be far more reaching into our community. Yeah.
Great.
And Juhi is offered to do, along with several of her friends, henna. So that's great. Anything else, Yusuf?
Hmm. I don't think we talked about much else.
Another meeting scheduled.
We do have another meeting
And
scheduled.
we all agreed to be there.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Did agree.
I know.
That's what happened.
That's progress.
It is. So that's October. Indigenous Peoples Recognition. Again, this was an effort that we said in January of this year, we were going to promote an activity or an event or increase awareness. At last month's meeting, we talked briefly about the changes that are going to be occurring at City Square Park with some planned improvements. And we're looking forward to having Nate Cabot come to the commission and talk a little bit more about the events that will enhance our downtown city square and honor and recognize the Native American Indian mounds that are there, Native American burial mounds that are there. So more to come on that. Veteran acknowledgement. I don't think we have a committee established
We
yet for
do, we
that.
just haven't met yet, so.
Okay,
We were thinking November, and so
we're good.
Yep.
Okay. Community partnerships. Thank you, Britt and Jennifer, for going to the Cinco de Mayo Chaska Rotary event held May 4th, I believe, or thereabouts. You represented us very well. Latino Voices, who was working with the Chaska Rotary, and Carver County Public Health acknowledged the Chaska Human Rights Commission as
I can read what they
Excellent.
said. If you want. Yeah, I actually got this from Gracia from Latino Voices, just so I could share it with you. They presented, I think, 5 certificates of appreciation to different members of the community or organizations that were, they called them Cinco de Mayo heroes, just to kind of honor the heroes that were in the battle in Mexico, where they defeated the French troops and claimed their land and everything. And so that day we were heroes, and that was quite an honor. The other awards went to Officer Julie Janke, the Ernest Waite Law Firm, the Chaska Lions Club, and to Erica Kennedy. I'm blanking in her last name, sorry. Just for the different contributions and partnerships with Latino Voices, and just including them and supporting them in the community within the organizations that were represented. So Gracia said about the Human Rights Commission that they continuously support efforts to create cultural awareness, the recognition of the value of cultural heritage and expression has moved and motivated many youth and community members to seek ways to connect with their roots. Their organization allows Latino communities to feel confident in expressing themselves in our community. Cultural expression is a human right. And then she also acknowledged that we were the first group to publicly support Latino voices in their very baby stages and help them to become what they are now. And they were very appreciative of that. So they presented us with this certificate of appreciation. I can just pass around and we can keep it with all of our other important papers, maybe in the basement. I don't know, but wherever we keep our important papers.
I know that from a Chaska Rotary standpoint, I have seen a photo that included the two of you.
It's right there.
We have photos.
There you are. Excellent. Yes. That's it. So you're with, that's a great picture. So you're with the chief of police.
He was
and-
there on behalf of Julie because she couldn't be there that day.
And then Steve Curtis with Southwest Metro Chamber.
I think in this photo, he's representing the Chaska Lions.
Aha, great. Well, it looks like you had a wonderful time.
We did, and this wonderful woman in the middle is Elba Castillo. And she teaches Aztec dance. She's been at some events in the community with her dancers before, but she got up and spoke about the importance of community, and her organization actually works with youth. They teach Aztec dance and traditional cultural just education and things like that. So young people have a better understanding of their history and their culture. But everyone is invited, and she has this wonderful dance group where she has really grown and mentored all of these students in Minneapolis. She now lives out in this area, and she is starting another chapter of the group out in Chaska. And this Saturday, they are starting their first dance rehearsal. Everyone's invited. They dance to drums. It's a lot of fun. They will be meeting in the Chaska Moravian Church basement every Saturday morning from 9 to 11. And it's free. So you're welcome to attend. Just show up and say, I'm ready to learn, and have some fun. It was really fun to meet Elba.
That's great. Well, again, thank you to the two being and representing us. So is there any new business tonight? Yusuf? Anything?
Yeah, nothing tonight, no.
Kevin?
Nothing.
Ren? Anna? Jen? Britt? Me? Kevin Wright?
Wow, not to be the only one that has one, I had to break the streak here, but yes, I do have an update. So with, I'm sure as everyone knows, with the Chaska Herald closing and a few of the other local newspapers, there have been some meetings that have happened along the lines of forming a community newspaper. If you're familiar with Eden Prairie, they have the Eden Prairie Local News, which is a community nonprofit organization that came out of when the Eden Prairie News closed a few years ago. So there was a meeting that was held in Eden Prairie where Eden Prairie local news staff kind of met with the communities and kind of explained their process and how they've gone about organizing news since their newspaper closed. So there's been a few meetings that have followed that. And one thing that's come out of that is to maybe create a newspaper that would cover the 4 Eastern Carver County communities of Victoria, Carver, Chanhassen, and Chaska. And then, so I think that's kind of the earlier discussion on it. And now what the group's trying to do is gauge interest in either, you know, being a reader of that newspaper, volunteering your talents somehow towards the organization, and or um, having a desire to be on the board, is kind of the next steps for the nonprofit. So I'll send out the link to, there's just a short form that was created that's, I don't know, one question really. You just check the boxes you're interested in and provide an email address. And then I think the kind of, I guess, the informal committee that's been meeting will then kind of reach out to those that, especially now, I think the bigger piece is the board member piece, kind of establishing a board so they can get 501c3 status, and then donations to start building kind of the newspaper. So early stages.
In the interim period of time, Chaska News is in the Waconia Patriot.
Our
notices.
legal notices are.
Right.
Yep.
Public notices,
Mhm. They haven't necessarily committed to
anything else?
covering Chaska, but yes, as a state statute, each city has to publish legal notices. So that's if there's a public hearing, or if we're bidding for services, those are the kind of things we would print in the paper. And so we've chosen the Waconia Patriot, and I believe Victoria and Carver have as well. Chanhassen, I believe, went with the Sun Sailor, if I'm saying that name correctly, but the Sun Sailors operates also in Hennepin County.
Will this new newspaper be print or electronic?
It would more than likely be electronic. I don't think they've gotten that far into the planning, but from the presentations from Eden Prairie Local News, the ability and then costs to print are pretty substantial. What they have done is print a voter guide every 2 years. So that's what they've really tried to focus their printing efforts on. And then the remainder are, it's digital.
You know, if the Eden Prairie paper, like if it was like reporters and stuff from the papers that closed, like is there interest from like reporters already, or where are we at as far as people interested in being part of this?
Well, I don't, from the Eden Prairie side, I believe there were a few local reporters from the Southwest News Media Group that I think did join. They did also, I believe, hold some classes for people that were interested in writing, but to kind of train them more in the journalism piece of it, on how to report and the kind of the AP style guide of everything. Just kind of just making sure that it's, written as if it's for a newspaper. So from the Eastern Carver County perspective, there really hasn't been, there's obviously they know that they need to kind of address that, but I think the board is kind of their bigger piece right now. So.
The Herald is missed, that's for sure.
But, and also as another update, not to extend the meeting longer than needed, but
Okay.
the History Center, I have learned they have secured all the rights and or copies to everything the Herald has. So microfilm and everything else from their records. So that would include all the way up until this very last issue.
On my days at the History Center, I know that the Chaska History Center, which is literally right across the courtyard, has actual print papers from, I believe it's from 1863.
At 1862, the very first
The very first.
issue of the Herald is in the History Center.
Yeah. So just a wealth of reference and historical knowledge and news and advertisements that speak to the history of Chaska. So, well, what good news. Okay, I think we are current, and I think we have no other business this evening. So may I have a motion to adjourn? Is there a second to adjourn?
Second?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank